Hey there, welcome to a very sweet Thursday Coach's Corner with Heck and King. Today we've got a Sweet 16 preview and look forward to the state championships here in Indiana. Before we do that, we want to ask for your support and to become a sponsor for the show. Send us a message on social media and inquire with us. And then make sure to give us a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to our channel. And then go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And they're all at IND Coach's Corner. Now, here we are. Let's go to the show. All righty.
Hey,
here we are.
Good afternoon.
What's happening, man?
I've had a good day. You know what? I've left the house long enough to go get the trash cans today. That was it.
Well, I can't say that I'm jealous of you because I'm still kicking it in school and teaching them up and doing my health thing. And I will say our listeners and our people that are checking in here, you will notice a difference in me because my cohort last week shamed me into shaving. Of
course I did.
And so I did. I got rid of the chin stuff, and I'm in my little Bruce Springsteen soul patch mode. So there we go. And so you're wondering why I got the Notre Dame hat and the Notre Dame sweatshirt on, right?
Yeah, you jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, what happened?
What's going on?
Well, there's white smoke coming out of the chimney right behind the Golden Dome. And if you don't know what that reference is all about, when the Catholic Church elects a pope, there's white smoke coming out of the chimney in the Vatican. And whenever we hire a basketball coach or a football coach at Notre Dame, the white smoke comes out. And yesterday we hired a basketball coach, Micah Shrewsbury. And Pat, you and I speculated that would happen.
We thought that might happen
on our last show.
The delays they had. You know, who was it? The Colts were so long and waiting and waiting. Everybody goes, why haven't the Colts hired a coach? And they say, well, he's still in the Super Bowl. And sure enough, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, the Colts named a coach. And as soon as Penn State finished up, last weekend, one thing led to another. Here we are. So new coach.
So Micah Shrewsbury has had a very, very interesting career. Last couple of years, he's been the head coach at Penn State and really done a really, really nice job. Got to the championship game of the conference tournament this year and played Purdue. And we'll still say Purdue. I mean, obviously, I said that they can't screw it up, and obviously they did screw it up, Scott. I feel bad about that, but
did I call it or did I call it?
You called it, but I got a T-shirt that says I got a T-shirt that say the word and then happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And so stuff does happen. But Micah, so Micah has been at Penn State a couple years. Micah was at Purdue on Matt Painter's staff. He's well known as an offensive genius in the circles of basketball. He coached with Brad Stevens over at Butler. He was with the Celtics then when Brad Stevens was coaching with the Celtics. And interestingly enough, he was the head coach at IUSB here in South Bend for a couple of years.
Right.
And so he does regard South Bend as a little bit of home for him. And just a real quick Micah Shrewsbury story. When I was coaching at Anderson, we played Cathedral every year, and every year we would play at the Wigwam. And so it's just a really good basketball game. Micah Shrewsbury is one of the guards for Cathedral. And I call a timeout, and I'm going to run this genius defensive set where when the point guard throws the ball to the wing, and we used to call that pink, the P for on the pass. When the point guard threw the ball to the wing, the point guard's defender would go and double the wing, and the backside wing would rotate over and guard the point guard. And so I'm in the timeout. I'm saying, guys, we're going to run this pink. Micah's not shooting the ball because Michael was the point guard. So we're going to pink the wing here, get a double here, and get that trap. So they're bringing the ball up the court. Micah hits the entry pass on the wing, and we leave Micah. We we go double the ball, and sure enough, the guy on the backside forgets to rotate up to Micah. And Micah's out at NBA range now when he gets the pass back off the double, and Micah drains just a long range three, and really just a bad. And I don't even know if it was a bad call by me, but it was bad execution by my team. And Micah drains the three, and I just look at him and just kind of shake my head, man. And but we all try and coach. We all try and make some maneuvers, right?
Right. It's a great X's and O's as long as the players do what you tell them to do.
Yeah, as long as they execute it. So I think Micah will be a great fit here. I mean, and when you go in and you hire a coach, you never know. I mean, obviously Micah can recruit. He's been at several different places where he has recruited well. Obviously, he coaches offensive basketball very well, and he got a 7-year contract. And so Notre Dame had to pony up, right? I mean,
obviously they said Penn State offered him money.
Yeah, and he wasn't coming cheap, man. So Notre Dame, so Notre Dame had to pony up, and we'll see what the Micah Shrewsbury era looks like. Happy for Mike Bray going down to South Florida and going to continue his coaching down there. He's got family down there.
Well, hold on.
That may be a hold on that one.
He ended up not getting the job.
Seriously.
From what I read,
that's not a done deal. Yeah, that's not a done
Twitter,
deal.
I think they're going to interview. I think one of the names I remember seeing was Tom Crean.
That is a Lee Corso, not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend.
But
I apologize then. I apologize.
And that's
and I think it was a foregone conclusion. Yeah, that he was going to go down there. The stars were seeming to align perfectly.
Yeah,
he may be going down there, but he's not necessarily going to be the coach yet.
Not for a job.
So, but you were talking about Shrewsbury when he was at IUSB in 05-06. He would bring his ball players over to the track across the street for their off-season workouts. So there was
the John Adams Eagles days.
Yeah, so there was several fall days in September and October where we spent some time out there while my PE class was doing whatever they were doing on the track. We would stand there and chit chat in the middle of the infield there on the practice football field, and his guys were doing their workouts on the track, and my kids were told to stay inside on the grass, and if they had to go chase a ball, make sure to look both ways before they went across the track. So, but we had some good conversations, and of course, I don't remember him. And it's been 20 years. If I said hello to him, he'd probably have to say, okay, remind me how I know you. So,
well, if I said hello to him, he would know me because I gave him a 3 to win the game at Cathedral, man. Hey, Coach Heck, nice call, man. Nice pink call.
Yeah,
nice pink call. Man. Thanks, man.
Remember that. So,
thanks.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, Scott, John's down there at the bottom. I don't know if you get him in there or not.
He
said that's his decision.
He said he was gonna. He said he would be right back.
Okay.
He's talking to parents for their teacher conferences.
Well, Heck, let me ask you this before we get off that topic. Now what? Who's going to come with him? Because one of the things I saw also today in the news was one of his assistants is one of the on the short list for his job about moving up and staying there. So if that happens, who's going to stay? Who's going to stay at Penn State? Who's he going to bring with him to Notre Dame? Are any of the Notre Dame people going to be asked to stay? That's the stuff that goes on all the time. It's just going to be kind of say who's going to be on whose staff.
Well, so I heard through the grapevine that he was going to ask you to join the staff and be the conditioning coach because of all those chats you guys had on the track.
That ain't going to happen. That is, yeah.
But typically speaking, and those coaches, I mean, they have so many friends in the business, and in one of their desk drawers, they always have a short list.
Sure.
If they ever get a job, this guy would come or that guy would come. The assistant coaches at Notre Dame, I think, were all pretty young and all pretty good. So he may elect to keep one of those just to keep somebody who knows the administration and all the ins and outs and all the things about the campus on staff. But I'm pretty sure that he would have his short list put together a little bit. Maybe someone who played on the Celtics, when he was doing some stuff there, maybe some Brad Stevens' guys, because they all owe each other favors, man.
Right. Oh, sure they do.
And I'm not saying this happens, but Brad Stevens might have said, "Hey, Shrews, when you get that job, man, I was on the phone with the Notre Dame people for about 45 minutes with you, and when you get that job, let me know, because I got a cousin that lives somewhere and he's in basketball, so maybe you can take care of him."
Yeah, exactly. And then the next thing you're going to hear, recruiting. We've been talking about the Purdue people recruiting and having maybe step up their recruiting. Is he going to beat competition now in the area? Is he going to recruit Big Ten players and bring them into Notre Dame and play a Big East schedule? Is he going to, his connections in Indiana, I think, are going to help him to go along with his East Coast, we'll call it East Coast, eastern part of the country connections that he has in Happy Valley too. So, he's got to recruit ACC players, which I think are different type of players than Big Ten players.
Yeah. So if anything mattered to what I thought, and surely it doesn't, you and me are just a couple slaps. But if anything mattered to what I'm not sure I recruit Big Ten players. I mean the Big Ten play a certain way, and they all of them do. They typically can shoot. They typically are very sound and fundamental type players. But and we talked about this the other day. I think you need a couple of edgy type guys that can just go,
right,
and can go and run and get those lanes filled. And you get a three out there that not only can shoot, but he can go get a tip dunk and throw back a rebound and put some pressure on the defense. And I thought that the last couple of years at Notre Dame that they didn't have guys like that.
No,
I thought Wesley was a guy like that, and I think that's why Wesley played so early in his career. I didn't necessarily think he was good enough to be an ACC player his freshman year, but I thought he played because they didn't have any players like that. Any guys that could slash and any guys that could just make it on his own and not have to worry about 2 or 3 screens or double screens or curls or anything like that. And Wesley could do that.
And
I was surprised.
And hide whatever he couldn't do yet.
No, exactly. And I was surprised that he did get drafted in the NBA and was a one and done, because I would have thought that the NBA guys would have seen that too. But the NBA guys and the scouts and all those people, they're certainly a lot smarter than I am. And he's obviously getting some minutes now for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
And I thought JJ Starling would be that player for Notre Dame this year. Mm-hmm. And but I don't think he was as athletic as Wesley. And like, one of the good things with Wesley was if he made a mistake, he wasn't coming out of the game, because he knew he was the only athletic guy. And when you can play. And when you can play with that looseness and that feeling to know that coach is going to let me play through mistakes. Right. Now you coach guys and I've coached guys, and they're pretty good, but when we're not comfortable with them and they make mistakes, sometimes one of our weaknesses as coaches is we don't let them play through mistakes. Mm-hmm. We'll take them out. We'll put another guy in who might be pretty good, but maybe is more of a safer player. But I thought Mike Bray let Wesley play through mistakes, and so he became a positive player for him. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, I totally agree. And think about how many times you've had people go, "Well, he just made 4 mistakes. He's got to come out of the game," and you leave a particular player, but yet somebody else makes a mistake or makes 2 mistakes, and you pull them. They're saying, "Well, why this? Why that?" Well, see, that's just people don't understand what you're trying to get accomplished.
There are
one guy's a guy that's just you got to leave him in the game.
Yeah, that's why. That's why you recruit some edgy players, some guys that have that edge to them, and that ability to just go and make a creative basketball move, and not need screen game or screen roll or anything like that to get them open. They're just good enough to rip the basketball, take that first step, and get to the rack and be able to make a play. I mean, when I see good players in screen roll. My initial thought is, well, let's just take that, the biggest defender up there and trap him and get the ball out of his hands.
Yes.
Because when you're looking at screen roll game, it's just another defender up there almost to get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so many teams play that drop coverage now, where the defender doesn't come up there; he hangs back in the paint. I go back to how Porter Moser, when in his last year at Loyola, when Loyola beat Illinois in the NCAA game, and DeSumo was the guard,
Mm-hmm.
and all Porter Moser did on that screen roll game was just go trap him, get the ball out of his hands, and now DeSumo didn't hurt him, and the roll guy didn't hurt him because there's all that help side he's rolling into, and it wasn't a screen and pop guy, because they were using a big.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Kofi
the
Coburn
coach
was the guy on the
exactly.
screen.
Well,
exactly. So it's not like he was going to pop and
No.
drop a three.
He couldn't shoot free throws.
Yeah, and so the Illinois coach, ran the screen roll till the last 2 minutes of the game.
And I kept thinking,
get out of that and let DeSumo go on his own a little bit.
Well, and think about your progressions on that. Look how many people you tell, if you know there's a trap coming, you either slip the screen or you run the ghost string now, where you just go to it and then pop and you just back cut it. You don't even set the screen. But what you do, you're getting movement. A lot of that's now X's and O's. What people are doing with the pick and roll. It's not even a true pick and roll anymore. They go up and act like they're screening and then cut it short, and they dive early. And it takes that, especially if there's a switch involved. If they think they're switching, they do that, and it defeats the switch.
Well, one of the things that I really like is to take that screen, but then don't take the screen, rip it, and go opposite the screen.
Reject the screen and go
reject
baseline.
The screen and go baseline, or set that screen at the top and take it down the middle. But when you reject that screen, you got to have players that can get into the lane and make a play.
You got to be able to do something with it. It couldn't be you or me, rejecting it, because we'd get stuck. That's a trap waiting to happen.
Well, the only thing that would happen with me is it would expose my game as a reject, to be honest with you.
It'd be two dribbles and jump shot. You hit that little 12-foot jumper.
Hey, Scott, let me ask you this question. So when you played for your dad, did your dad let you play through mistakes, or did he take you out when you made one or two quickly?
I didn't make mistakes. Heck,
I liked that, man.
I was the guy in the corner going,
hands out, footwork done, waiting for the pass. Right.
He was in the corner during that high ball screen series with the roll and replace. He was in the corner.
I was praying that the guy guarding me would over rotate to try to help. And leave me open in the corner, and you put me in the left corner where I could put my right foot toward the middle and then step right into it. It was going up.
Okay, so here's my next question then. How many shots did he give you? He gave you 2 shots, and if you didn't make the 2, you were gone?
Yeah, he was a two-dribble guy. He got 2 dribbles. After that, it's pick it up and do something with it.
Oh, I had the green light to shoot, but like he said, it was like one or 2 dribbles, that's it. If you don't have it, get rid of it. And most of the time, I would put myself on my own pitch count, where if I didn't have it when I caught the ball, I wasn't going to dribble at all. It was going right back to the top of the key.
Yeah, and the ball gets moved, and either you run the baseline or you just go back and get your footwork done and count on that guard coming your way and beating his man, and now there's a help and recover.
Yep.
I think Shrews is going to do just fine. I think I read where they're going to do an official announcement tomorrow. It's the worst kept secret around. But they're going to, I think they have do everything tomorrow, maybe for a Friday luncheon or something for him to officially announce him as the new coach.
Well, I'm happy, and obviously he's got to hit the ground running because the number of players that he has there. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 left. So he's got to have some kind of a recruiting year this year, or just get into the portal.
Yeah,
and take some guys into the portal. And that'll be interesting now to see if Notre Dame allows him to get into the portal and take maybe a freshman in the portal, because historically speaking, Notre Dame has only allowed seniors, graduate seniors, to come out of that portal and come to Notre Dame.
Yeah, and you see that in football, don't you? Because
so that would be one of my negotiating things if I was sitting at the table and getting ready to take that job. I would negotiate. Hey man, if I can get to if a freshman from Ohio State wants to leave Ohio State and he's in the portal and he's a great player, I want to be able to go get him, and it doesn't have to be a grad transfer.
Well, for example, I'm off the top of my head right now. The big from Minnesota is in the portal, and I bet if Notre Dame doesn't go after him, Purdue will, especially if Edey leaves.
Yeah, that's all Purdue needs is another big. And
good on big men.
Yeah, why don't we go get the guy?
How about JJ Starling? I think he's in the portal.
He's going to Syracuse.
Is that where he's going? I think that's home, isn't it?
Yeah, he's from New York. But how about that? How about that slasher from Miami who torched Indiana? Why don't we go get a 6'4", 6'5" guy like that can run, that can dunk, that can shoot it? Why don't we get some guys like that? And sometimes, and I understand this totally because I was in the college game, and you were in the college game too, Pat. Sometimes you cannot have a whole team full of those edgy type guys, and you can only have maybe 1 or 2 of those because some of those guys, they're harder to coach. You got to really stay on them. But if you got a great mix of guys and you get one of those, 1 or 2 of those kind of guys, then I think you really have something. We talked about IU the other day, and I know Scott will smile about IU too. How did Miller Kopp end up playing, maybe 26 minutes in that game?
You got Kopp and Galloway in there at the same time, which to me they're similar players.
Well, Galloway is more of a slasher. He's more active. He's
definitely a better athlete than Miller Kopp is.
Yes, and if he's going down the lane and he's got a chance to throw one down, he will. But so Miller Kopp's playing the 3, but he's not a guy that's going to pound the glass from the backside. He's not a guy that's going to get position and go up and hammer a missed jump shot. Geronimo was your guy that did that last year, and I don't know. He got in the doghouse somewhere along the line.
Right.
He was nowhere to be seen. But IU's going to have to retool also. They're losing some guys.
Right.
And I think you and I were talking about this with Hood Schifrino is listed in the NBA draft.
Right. Is he going to stay?
He's listed ahead of Jackson Davis in some of those, right?
Mm-hmm. He is. I saw a couple of my friends down in southern Indiana found something on the IU report that said he made some announcement today that he was going to stay, but I've only seen it maybe one place. I think it might have just been somebody wishful thinking. I don't think it's a done deal yet. But just to finish up on that, Alabama and Houston, look how many stallions they have. They've got some guys that can just go make plays.
Athletes.
And like I said, wins enough. Can you?
Yeah.
But and what we've always said, well, you got guys that can win games, but they're also the same guy that can lose a game for you too. So when's it time to get, fourth quarter when it's close, they may have to go sit down to protect the lead because you just don't know. They may go do something crazy.
Well, and sometimes that's coaching, and sometimes the only way you're going to teach them to do that is to let them do it. And sometimes if you fail in January, you might not fail in the opening game of the NCAA tournament. And sometimes that's coaching, man.
Right.
And you can't And in that Purdue game, I love Matt, man. I mean, Matt grew up around me. He played at Delta when I was coaching in Wapahani, and Matt's been wonderful to me. I love Matt. But in late in that game, some of those shooters were. I mean, they looked like they were afraid to.
They need to pull the
fire
trigger
up that
and do
Jay.
it.
Yeah,
and that stuff I just don't understand. But you're right. It's part of the coaching where you take those players, because watch how many games tonight and tomorrow when teams are running up and down the floor, not worrying about the shot clock, they look pretty good. But then all of a sudden they start milking that clock, and the coaches start talking about running that. They get a lead, they're up 8 or 10, and now they're starting to run that shot clock down to 10 before they go make a play. And all of a sudden they're missing shots because in the half court they're not nearly as good.
Well, yeah, but
that's where you've got to have some of that structure. And again, that's the coaching part where you've got to be
well,
able to teach guys
I don't
how to make plays.
I don't really agree with that, because I think in the college game, I think when and you said it perfectly, it's the shot clock. In the high school game, there's no shot clock, so there's more structure, and you can run that thing down. In the college game, you got a shot clock, and so when I was coaching at Ball State, when that shot clock got to 7, everybody on the bench would holler butter. I mean, butter as in Butter, because
right.
when Rick Majerus was coaching at Ball State, Rick Majerus, obviously he loved butter, man. Come on, and God rest his soul, he was the absolute best. But they would holler. They would holler butter.
Well, Hunsaker did the same thing when I was with him at Manchester.
Yeah,
it got down to 10. It was butter, and they'd flatten out,
and so those coaches can live with a shot that might not be the best shot, because you got to get a shot before the shot clock goes down. And I'd love to be a college player, and I hear butter, and now I got to go get one, and I can't. I'm not getting jacked out of the game because I take a shot that's a little difficult, because it's either taking a shot at 3 or 4 or giving the ball back. And when you take a shot, there's always a chance to go get a rebound. The college game to me is great when you have a lead. Run something to get the first 20 seconds off and be disciplined enough to know that we're not going to take a shot in the first 20 seconds unless it's a layup. And then when we get down to butter, then someone's got to go make a play.
And maybe we've just answered our question about why Purdue and IU are having trouble with the recruiting, because think about they're recruiting Indiana kids that haven't used a shot clock in high school, only AAU. And a lot of these kids played on teams where it was first team to 50, because they played on teams that were control teams that were very willing to score 35, 40 points and win a ball game.
Well, think about
where they didn't have to go get a shot.
Think about where's Carson Edwards from? He's from Texas. Where was Jaden Ivey playing? He was playing at Lawlemere, that isn't part of the IHSAA.
Exactly.
And then you think about guys like Ryan Klein or Fletcher Lawyer or any of the other guys. Where are they from? Well, Ryan Klein's from Carmel. How does Carmel play? Well, they want to win a game 46-45.
Yeah.
Now, Scott Heddy has been incredible at it, but still, it doesn't set you up
maybe
for the college game.
Westfield's the same way as Homestead's the same way. They're very willing to play in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, but I think freshmen. But I'm not sure about that totally either, because when
it's just a thought. It's a thought.
Yeah.
When they play in the AAU circuit in the summer, those games are 100 to 98, and
right.
So they get used to that. But I think if Hood Schifrino stays, I think that's great. I think it's great for him, because it's great for his development as a college player. I always thought that Romeo Langford should have never left IU after his freshman year. He left IU. He got drafted by the Celtics. He got a cup of coffee a little, every year or so. A little bit of run, but not much.
No.
And ended up playing in the G League or D League, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Then he gets moved to San Antonio, where he plays a little bit. But I always thought Romeo Langford could have used some more seasoning and more ability to make plays on his own like that. And I'm really happy. I hope that's exactly the way it is, that Hood Schifrino stays and plays in
Romeo
the
should have
college
gone
game.
to Kansas.
Romeo.
I thought you said Romeo should have gone to Purdue, man. I thought
Romeo-
he was
yeah.
never going to go to Purdue.
Well, now you tell me, but Romeo, I think, his dad was really involved in that AU stuff down there with the Adidas and the Latino stuff. I think across the river, and I think he needed to go because of some of the issues that the Adidas, the shoe thing, had stretched over to IU, and I think it had gotten kind of dirty there. And I think pretty much he needed to go before something the NCAA was about ready to come down on him and everybody else with that. So I think he got
everybody's favorite radio host in Indianapolis, Dockich, calls him Shoe Boy. So
yeah, no, and all, you know what? I mean, all of that stuff hits those young kids on the AAU circuit and stuff like. I mean, those kids are going to Vegas, they're going to Florida, they're playing basketball, they're traveling as 16-year-old. My first time I went to Vegas, I was 42. Yeah. I went to Florida when I was like 25. I'm not going to Florida on my own, and everybody giving you shoes. And I'm going to tell you one story. So my dad was my coach at St. John's grade school in South Bend. And I know you've heard this before, Pat, but my dad was a dentist, and my dad could have afforded to buy me shoes, right? Right. So everybody on St. John's, I'm a seventh grader, and I'm starting on the eighth grade team. A, because my dad was a coach, and I mean, I'm going to be straight up about that. B, because I was pretty good. But everybody had white Chucky Taylor high tops. Okay? Everybody. Yeah. I had white Kmart high tops. And that's what I had. Right. And so that's what my dad got me. And so I don't know, I started the first 2 or 3 games. I said, Dad, I'm starting now. And you think you could give me some Chucky Taylors, some white Chucky Taylors? He said, Ronnie, I don't mean any disrespect to Kmart. He said, but right now you got a Kmart game. You got a Kmart work ethic. And until you start playing a little bit harder and start doing the things I want you to do a little bit harder, then I'll get you some Chucky Taylors. That's all he had to tell you. That's all he had to say. 2 weeks later, I was busting my tail every play and got some Chucky Taylors. But here I am. I got Kmart J's on, man. Right. I got Kmart shoes. And my dad's not afraid to tell me that I'm a kind of a buster, man. I'm a buster because I ain't playing hard.
That sounds like Red Ball Jets. That sounds like the South Carolina women's coach when she had that quote a couple of weeks ago about you guys have big league dreams with backyard practice habits. Yeah. And she just called them out.
Yeah, and your dad been there. Your dad was like my dad. Your dad was a tough guy, and your dad put you in your place too.
Oh, but we don't doubt.
But these kids nowadays, it's difficult for parents to put them in their place because and my dad loved me, your dad loved you. They didn't love us any more or any less than the kids today. But so the AAU circuit and putting all that stuff in those kids' hands, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then they come back to school and we put them on a school bus to go to road games. And then you wonder why they don't want to play. And they practice once or twice a week maybe, and we want them to practice every day and come in on Saturday mornings before a Saturday night game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no.
And then they might play. They're thinking, I'm not getting any minutes. Why should I be in here?
Well, it's and hopefully, and I'm not saying that the AAU circuit isn't okay for them, but I think it's important who's running that circuit and what kind of message we're giving the kids. I said this a long time too, Pat, and I think this is true too. Maybe 10, 12 years ago, the high school coach was the big deal. I mean, he was the big deal in the kid's life. All the college coaches were going through him. But now the AAU coach is probably ranked number 1 on the kids' list. The personal trainer is now number 2 on the kids' list. The dad, who's paying 1 and 2, is number 3 on the kids' list. And the high school coach is maybe number 4 or number 5 on the list. That's never how it used to be. The high school coach had all the juice and the high school coach controlled everything. So it's just kind of the way things evolve, and I don't know if it will ever change back again. But I just love high school coaches that still hold kids accountable. And it doesn't matter if you're an AAU All-American or what this is, you still have to come. And you have to prove to me that you don't have a Kmart game, that you got a Chuck Taylor, Converse game, and I'll get you some shoes. So that was a great lesson for me. Yeah. Hey, do you want to get into this bracket, man?
Yeah, we've got a ball game in an hour. Scott's got some stuff for us. Anyways, Michigan State plays K-State here. That's the first game up tonight. Scott, you got brackets? Yep. What you got? Are you going to run some stuff across the bottom? Good for you.
I got the ticker going, and then so K-State is actually an underdog in this one to Michigan State.
They're the 3 seed.
Well, Michigan State played really well, and everybody and Tom Izzo's had some teams that have been a quick out too, and people have put his teams to go through the bracket, but they played really well the other night. And K-State got that little guard, right?
What's his name? Is that Tomlin? Naquan Tomlin, I believe it is.
But I think they got a little 5'6" guard maybe that is really dynamite.
Yeah,
he controlled everything, man. Yeah. So I like that game. Tennessee, Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
Tennessee's players were men compared to Duke's players, and I think that the physicality of their older players just kind of wore Duke down and took Duke out of it. And then you have FAU going against FDU, and FDU, was that going to be the St. Peter's this year? St. Peter's, the St. Peter's did last year.
Yeah, they didn't. They had a good run. Now, did you see that their coach is already, now that they're out?
Yeah,
their coach.
He's the head coach at Iona now.
He's the new coach for Iona. That's
good
right.
for him, man.
Yeah. Now I saw where Tennessee, and help me with his name, is it Zakay Ziegler? He's not playing tonight for Tennessee, who's one of their good players. So that's going to be a factor for them against Florida Atlantic.
I think the thing to watch out for is Florida Atlantic they're not going to even try to be as physical as Duke tried to match up with Tennessee. And Florida Atlantic loves to shoot it. So I think if they're hot, they've got just as good a chance as anybody to beat Tennessee, because they won't even give them an opportunity to play as physical as they did against Duke.
So I've seen that coach's name, the Florida Atlantic coach. He may be in the front running for that Penn State job.
So is that Dusty May? Is Dusty May the head coach at Florida Atlantic?
He might be
the ex-manager for Indiana,
for IU. That might be right.
Yeah, he's done a really, really good job of coaching there, and his name has been up now for 2 or 3 jobs. And then you go to the top end of that bracket. Coach McDermott at Creighton is a great coach. He coaches those guys up in the Missouri Valley. Creighton and San Diego State. San Diego State played really well the other night.
Yeah, they have, and. You've got 4 games tonight.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's Creighton against Princeton.
Creighton and Princeton play. Yeah,
and that's tomorrow.
That's
at 9.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So your first game tonight is Michigan State, K-State. And then a 7:15 games, Arkansas and UConn, which should be a dandy. You know what? Hurley's done a great job. The 2 Hurley boys, how good a coach. Their teams just meet their personalities.
Well, was there any doubt?
No,
seriously.
I agree. And, and he fits perfectly in the Big East. The Big East is really coming out as one of the good conferences, the best conferences. They've got 3 teams, I think, in the Sweet 16. We talked about the Big Ten this, Big Ten that, but here's the Big East. They've got 3 in the Sweet 16 this year.
Yeah, and so Danny Hurley's his dad's Bob Hurley, the great high school coach out east. He's got a brother that's just a great coach too, and they're Eastern guys, man. I used to see him all the time when I worked 5 Star, and I used to see his dad out there. Of course, the guru of 5 Star, Howard Garfinkel, and all the Easterners, man. That's where those guys belong. Those guys belong in the Big East.
They belong in the Big East. I'm surprised Bobby Hurley has stayed as long as he has out there at Arizona State. So, but then, like I said, Florida Atlantic and Tennessee's the 9:00 game. Then the night game should be a dandy. It's the 2 versus the 3, Gonzaga and UCLA. And they said UCLA, there's no Jalen Clark, and Aiden Bowen has got a bad shoulder. But the thing is, Gonzaga still has Drew Timme.
Yeah, he's a veteran, man.
He's like it's like his 7th or 8th year.
Yeah, well, and so when you talk about players like that, as opposed to the one and dones that used to play really in this tournament, I don't think there's that many one and dones now because of NIL and because of the transfer portal. But you take a savvy veteran like Drew Timme, and even the guy who's going to play next year again at North Carolina. I think it's Baggett.
Yeah,
he said, I'm coming back next year.
And then they were talking about it. Said, does North Carolina want him back? What was the next question they said?
Well, he went for 15 and 10, so I'd take him any day too.
Armando Bacot.
Yeah,
is that who is Bacot?
Yeah, he's coming back. And
the name was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like,
here's the thing. Drew Timme, just as some trivia, he's from Richardson Berkner, which is where that's one of the schools in Richardson. It was just south of where we lived because they were in the same district that we were in when I was in Plano. So you had Berkner, Richardson, J.J. Pierce, all these teams there, and just south of Plano, just north of LBJ. But he's a Richardson kid. He went to Berkner High School. It's right on.
It's one of the suburbs of Dallas. If you don't know those cities, anybody?
Yeah, it's the north side of Dallas.
Now that you're wearing a Texas Ranger shirt, now you can tell us everything about.
But he's going to Frisco, which is just north
Frisco
of Plano.
Resident here.
Yeah.
Well, so so Drew Timme is a man. He's a man playing against
he's older than
19-year-olds.
Yeah, he's older than half the pros. You take Memphis is, take the Grizzlies starting lineup, and he's probably older than 3 of them.
And he's got the best mustache in the country.
He's a good player, and so here's what I say: if you're at a good school and you get 3 hots in a cot, you get 3 great meals a day, you get a place to sleep, and they're paying you now. It's NIL money, you're getting paid, and you like it, and you have friends, and maybe you got a girlfriend there. Yeah. I mean, it's more enticing now to stay in that extra year and get those 3 hots in a cot and enjoy playing and getting paid now.
Yeah.
Before the NIL money and before any of that, guys needed money. Guys didn't have money.
There was the one and dones were going for a reason. It wasn't because they were good, it's because they needed that paycheck. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be like a goody guy here, but let's make no mistake about it. They were getting paid, but it wasn't
table.
It wasn't above the table. Now they're getting paid above the table. So what about that Houston-Miami game? I really like Miami, man. Jim Larinaga was the head coach at Bowling Green when I was at Ball State, and he's been an Easterner. He's a New York guy. He has just been a great coach, and he's still all-time winningest coach at Miami, right?
Right. Well,
I think that'll be a great game.
Before they even had the selections, we guessed that this would be a crazy tournament with more upsets because there were no such things as upsets. The teams there's so much parity in the middle, and I don't even know if it's just the middle. I think we're finding out at the top. Even the number ones are closer to the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s than they've ever been. I mean, they could have named 15. They could have named 16 teams as a 1, and I don't think anybody would have blinked too many times. But like you said, tomorrow's games, my goodness, it would not surprise me a bit. San Diego State, beats Alabama. We could lose both number 1s tomorrow night.
Well, let's make your picks for tonight. So who you guys got in the first one? Michigan State or Kansas State?
Did we ever look? Heck, did you ever get our papers? Did you ever look at last week? How ugly was that? Did you look at our results, or did you just tear those up?
All I've been looking for in the last week is white smoke coming out of the chimney of the Golden Dome. So no, I did not look, and I mean, my bracket's so busted.
Well, I've got eight out of 16 left. So
Well, I got 3 in the Final Four still. I got Alabama, Houston, and UCLA. So I'm going to take Kansas State against Michigan State.
Okay.
I like the way they played. I thought they were really good. I think Coach Izzo does a great job, but I'm going with Kansas State. What about you guys?
I'm gonna be the stinker. I'm gonna take the other one. I'm gonna let you take one, and I may take the other team just because. So
I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be a basketball.
No,
I want you to be a basketball guy that's going to say
with so many upsets. I'll take Michigan State and feel good about it.
All right, Scott, break the tie. Who you got?
I think watching Michigan State all year and the way Tyson Walker killed Purdue when he went off for 30-something, I trust Izzo a little bit more when the games get close.
Do they have anybody that can guard that little guard is what Heck's asking you. Because
Tyson Walker can D some guys up, and he's not the biggest guy, but I trust Tyson Walker, AJ Hoggard, and the guy to watch for on Michigan State is oh gosh, what's his name? The white guy,
the blonde guy,
the white guy that can shoot, which doesn't really narrow it down a whole heck of a lot, but.
And so I would like
Joey Hauser. Joey Hauser.
Okay.
I call him Doogie Hauser, but his name is Joey Hauser.
All right.
Yeah. So okay, that's getting ready to tip off, and then we have Tennessee against FAU. I'm going with Tennessee because of the physicality of Tennessee. I think Rick Barnes is a really, really good coach, and I think whichever team would have came out of that, FDU or FAU, like they did, I think Tennessee would have advanced against both of those. So I'm taking Tennessee, boys.
Okay, I'm going to take Tennessee as well.
Me too.
All right, so that's a 3-way.
There's three stuff.
This is the part of the bracket. There's no number ones.
Oh, hey, I forgot. What? I totally forgot. We have our fourth member of the team that normally spins the dials. Let me get him in here to actually put him on the record. Mr. Overmeyer, welcome.
Hey guys,
you're still on the clock, so we got to sneak you in here.
Yeah, we're doing parent-teacher conferences tonight, so I'm in a little bit of a loss. So I thought I would join and
we won't
mention this whole thing.
Hey, let me ask you this question: why are you doing that? The school's closing. Just say I got stuff to do tonight, man.
School's not going to be around another year.
Good question, Heck.
That is a good question.
That's a great question.
That is a good question, man.
Yeah.
I remember, and you know how we all go through the evaluations, right?
Oh, yeah.
We sit in the principal's office. They tell us what we got to do and how we can become better. In 1986, I was at Edgewood High School, and the principal was a wonderful gentleman. And he said, Ron, all these things I want you to be. I said, Mr. Townsend. I said, no disrespect, sir, but in 1986, I said, I've reached my peak as a teacher, so you don't need to keep going here. So 2023, I'm sitting in Mr. Ross's office, and he's trying to go through my teacher evaluation with me. And I say, hey, 1986, I reached the peak, man. Let's cut this short right now. But no, hey, John, I respect you. I respect you for following through and doing what you're supposed to do and being a great teacher and caring for those kids, man. That's what you do.
That's what I try to do every single day.
Well, hey, let's do important
Florida
stuff.
Atlantic or Tennessee.
Yeah, wait a minute. Back him up. Give him a chance. You want K-State or Michigan State?
He put it in the chat. He said,
"Oh, you already got it. Never mind."
I like the Spartans. They're on a roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And then
as you were.
Tennessee in the other one.
I'm taking Tennessee in the other one. Yep.
Yeah, you're copying all of us on that one.
Right. So what do we got? We got the 7:15 game. We got Arkansas and UConn. Is that right?
Yeah, no. Listen to me. If Eric Musselman is throwing his shirt off on the first round game, I'm taking Arkansas just to see what he's going to throw off the second round game here in the Sweet 16. So I'm going with Arkansas. I like them, man.
I like them too, but I'm going to pick UConn.
I'm taking Arkansas. They're just putting it all together, and like with Heck, I want to see what Musselman will do if they win tonight with the shirt.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, man, throw some gym shorts underneath those trousers tonight.
Boxer. He may need to make sure he's got some boxers on.
Yeah. So Scott, who do you got in that?
Woo pig.
Okay.
You got Arkansas. Okay, I can dig that.
And then
the other one tonight is Gonzaga with the great mustache, the mustachio Drew Timmy against UCLA. I think that'll be a really, really good basketball game. I want to take UCLA, but I know you said there were some injuries, right, Pat?
Right. Supposedly they got some guys that one hurt and one out. So they got two starters that are either out or injured.
So I'm going to go with Gonzaga, to be honest with you.
I am too.
Johnny?
I'm going to go with UCLA, even with the injuries. I think they can get this done, and I think they're on a mission right now. And I'm going to take the Bruins tonight.
They've still got a lot of players left from that Final Four team, don't they?
Yeah,
there's some freshmen that were they were in the play-in game and got clear to the Final Four a couple years ago. Freshmen.
Yeah, they still got Tiger Campbell and Jaime Jaquez.
The guy with the big hair.
Yeah, Tiger Campbell.
Exactly. So I'm taking the Bruins.
Okay.
So Johnny Be Good is taking the Brewers. You're taking the Brewers, Johnny Be Good?
I'm taking the Bruins. Yep.
Okay.
Right. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, you even got it typed in. Look, he's got it across the bottom.
The Fighting Drew Timmies.
There you go, man. There you go. No, me and Scott are going with Gonzaga. Pat, you're going with UCLA?
I got Gonzaga. No, I'm going Gonzaga.
Okay, so John.
So 3-1. John, you got some money you can make there.
All right.
I got it saved in here, so it's on the record. So we'll check it back.
Heck, you get the thing over to the right. Harlan's on here. He says he's picking Tennessee, Arkansas, and UCLA and Michigan State. Your boy.
Q's the best, man. I love Q. Q was.
We may need to look at him for advice.
No, Q. No, you don't want to get advice from Q. You just want to have him as your friend. You don't want to get advice from Q.
So we don't Q. No, don't ask Q. You're not coming on next week.
Q can come on anytime he wants.
He was on our show the other night too. Yeah.
Well, we put him on here. We got a fifth
Q's the best,
here.
man. He's loyal. He was one of my.
Got his cigars. He likes those cigars.
He's a great Bear fan, man. He's a great Bear fan. Q and I on Sundays we suffer together, man.
Yeah. Q, I've got a nice cigar bar for you up here in Mishawaka.
Oh yes.
One of our
Make sure and check out Jackson's Cigar Bar.
Right, it's right by Hacienda in the 100 Center, downtown.
And while you're doing that, if you have a teenager that's ready to drive, please go see Frick's Driving School. And then while you're doing that, go to southernknitstudio.com, or I think it's just southernknit.com, and buy a blanket
from your daughter or from my daughter, your sister.
It's not only a teenager, because my wife tells me that I'm the world's most worst driver. So I was thinking about signing up and going to take some classes, man.
You'd have to drive with me, and that's not going to happen.
Oh God, I'd stay off the road if that happened.
All right, boys. Right. So are we going to do anything with? Are we going to do tomorrow night schools?
We can. You want to do tomorrow night's games real quick?
Let's pick tomorrow's, and then we'll talk about the state finals here to wrap it up.
Yeah, Alabama, San Diego State, no question. When Nick Saban put down the law the other day, I think Alabama's out to prove themselves that, hey, man, the football is not only great, basketball can do some things too. But Brandon Miller was held scoreless the last game, right?
Yeah. Did you see that he was at practice the next day too?
Good.
Yeah, and he was at basketball practice the next day. And they didn't shoot him. They didn't hurt him. They actually looked like they might have been friends.
I love Nick Saban. I'm taking Alabama. I think everybody's taking Alabama. Maybe.
I think so.
Alabama. Concur.
Yep. How about that next one?
Second game is Miami.
The 7:15 games, Miami and Houston.
Yeah, man. I'm taking Miami.
That'd be an expensive ticket. That'd be a good game.
I'm taking Miami. I like that 6'7" post player that's relentless that Miami has. I think he's number 15 maybe, or is it 00? Yeah. He's relentless. And I mean, Jackson Davis is an All-American. I thought he played Jackson Davis pretty well. So I'm taking Miami.
I think that's a must-see TV game tomorrow night. Clear your schedules.
So who you got, man?
Yeah, you got to make a pick.
Make a pick, man.
Who'd you pick? You picked Miami.
Hey. So have you taken your Prevagen today? Did you take Prevagen?
I was listening to you.
I got Miami, man.
Just because you're blowing me shit, I'm taking Houston.
We can cuss on this?
Yeah, you're on the internet.
I beg your pardon.
Whatever you want.
I got under your skin, man.
No, I just said that for
all right.
There might be a hell shitter dam every once in a while.
So you got Houston?
I'll take Houston. Just
Johnny, be good. Who you got?
I'm taking the Canes. I love what Miami's doing. I think Houston's
they're in for a fight. I think
a 12-round fight, and I think the Canes come out victorious.
Scott, what do you got, big boy?
I am also on the Miami train.
If that was the championship game, I would be perfectly happy next Monday night.
The way they attacked the glass against IU, and I think with Houston's streakiness of not scoring, I think Miami is so fast, so athletic. They will run, and get dunks, layups until Houston submits.
Whatever the over/under is on that one, I'm taking the over. How's that?
I concur. I concur wholeheartedly. I just want Coach Larinaga to make it through another game, man.
I genuinely
80, isn't he?
Yeah.
I genuinely do not understand how Miami is 7-point underdogs in this one.
Yeah, I don't either. But then, okay, what about
Xavier
in Texas? What about Xavier in Texas?
Princeton Gonzaga is the next one. Xavier Texas is the end.
Princeton
Creighton. Sorry, yeah.
That's game 3. Yeah, 16 and a 5.
Okay, you guys pick, and I'm going last this time. You guys pick.
All right.
I'm picking Princeton.
I ain't even going last. I'm taking Texas. If you're picking Princeton,
they're not playing.
I'm Princeton just because of the style.
I'm taking Creighton.
You got to take Creighton if you're.
I'm taking Creighton.
I'm
taking Princeton. Just the way they play, and they just frustrate the bejeebers out of you.
But there is a shot clock. Let them play like that. But there's a shot clock.
They scored 80 last week.
I know.
With a shot clock the way they play. I still like Princeton.
All right, Scott, what do you got, man?
So what do we have? Who did King?
I got Creighton, and the other two guys got Princeton.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're gonna go a two-way split. I think Creighton will be able to score with them.
Q so far says he's got Bama, Miami, and Creighton.
All right.
I'll put it up.
He's along with us. He's along with us.
Q will get his shout out in a second.
Harlan's got stuff. All right, last game, 9:45. Xavier
Texas.
and Texas. That's a 2 and a 3. I got to take Texas. I'll go first. I'm take the Longhorns. I'm taking Texas.
As much as I like Xavier, hook 'em horns. I think they're going to get there. Even though I think it's going to be closer than the experts think, because Lee Corson would say, "Not so fast."
Not so fast,
taking the
my
horns.
friends.
Yeah, we used that one earlier, didn't we? On the
Scott, who you got?
Xavier is +4. I think it'll be close. Texas will win, but I think Xavier might cover.
Well, I'm taking Texas because my high school coach, Bob Donewald, his son, Bobby Donewald Jr., is an assistant coach at Texas. So I'm rooting for the Donewald family on this one, and I'm taking Texas.
Okay.
There you go. So there's our picks.
All right.
Q says Bama, Miami, Creighton, Xavier.
Yep.
Q star.
He's right in the middle of it.
All right.
Hi, boys.
We want to talk high school real quick. John and I are going to Indianapolis. We're doing the 3A game, Northwood and Garin Catholic.
All right. Okay, let's start at 1A. Let's go right down the list here. 1A is, what is it?
Southwood versus
Southwood
Lutheran.
and Lutheran.
Southwood and Lutheran. Lutheran's really good, by the way. I'm going with Lutheran.
Me too.
I am too. Southwood's had a magical season, but they run out of magic at Cambridge, and Lutheran will win that probably by double digits, I would think.
Yeah, I'd trust the Indy schools to beat non-Indy schools.
Well, just the level of competition, and we talked about this with Northwood, with Northwood. Northwood's strength of schedule is 101, and Garin Catholic's strength of schedule is 35, just because they're playing all those Central Indiana schools. So the second one is Linton against Fort Wayne Christian Blackhawk, right? Fort Wayne Blackhawk.
Yep, that's where one of the Purdue kids is from.
Well, somebody pick him, man.
I'm still first. Private school. I'm going Blackhawk.
I'm taking Blackhawk as well.
Even though Linton Stockton's undefeated in Indiana, they haven't lost to an Indiana school yet. The only team beat them was from Owensboro.
Scott, what do you got?
I'll say Linton just because, like Dad just said, Linton is undefeated in the state of Indiana. I know Blackhawk plays the gauntlet in Fort Wayne, but just to be a contrarian.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Blackhawk. And I'm going to wish Linton really well because I know they're going through a lot of adversity. Their coach got jammed up a little bit, won't be coaching in the game. His son is a senior on the team.
And his son's good.
And
coach.
I think there is a lot of emotionalism that will be displayed there. But I just, like you said, the gauntlet in Fort Wayne that they go through, that Black Hawk goes through is tough. 3A Northwood and Guerin Catholic. And again, you look at that strength of schedule, that has to have some kind of effect in there. But I just like Northwood's ability to guard. I like their length. I like the fact that if they got to go get one, Cade Brenner could go get one for them. And
their schedule has been pretty good. I mean, even though
it's 101 though, it's 101.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you go schedule, if you're going to pick this on a schedule wide, on a schedule reasoning, you got to pick Guerin Catholic because they're 35th.
Right.
But I'm going because we know Aaron Wolf. You and I did that game. We saw him play. Yeah. We saw their length. We saw their ability to guard. So I'm going Northwood against the strength of schedule.
I am too.
And if you didn't, I was calling Wolfie and telling him, by the way, if you didn't, because Wolfie really likes you, you know that.
I know. I don't know why, but he does.
One of two pillars.
Yeah. The pillars.
That's right.
I mean, our people that know us call us slaps.
Yeah.
The guys, the coaches in the state of Indiana call us pillars.
Pillars.
So what are you going to do? I don't know. John, what are you going to do?
I like Northwood's length. I look at strength of schedule. That usually means something, but you got to throw it out. Obviously, Guerin Catholic does have some experience in state championship games. This is Northwood's first appearance. But just from what you guys have told me, seeing them, what I've watched on our websites, doing some of the Northwood games and listening to the interview with Wolfie the other night, I really like Northwood. I think they're well prepared. They're well disciplined. They lead the state in scoring defense. They can fill it up when they need to. And I think there's that inspirational story about the Rosh boys, what they've gone through in the last year, losing their mom. And and this team has dedicated this game to her. They've got a lot on the line here. And I think the Panthers going with a lot of emotion. They settle in. They get their shot blocking ability. They can fill it up. And I think they beat Guerin Catholic. I think Northwood brings their first state title.
I'm going against my normal bias against Indy schools since I live down here, and Guerin's only about 15 minutes from where I live. But I will also I will channel my northern Indiana roots and say Northwood for the win.
All right, so now Ben Davis,
Kokomo.
and Kokomo, man. I mean, I'm gonna be really quick with this because I'm heading off to church tonight. Ben Davis, man, 32-0. They're gonna run the table.
And they haven't had an undefeated team in 20-some years since Connolly and Oden.
Oh, I thought it was the 76 Hoosiers, but
Well, yeah, I'm talking high school, I guess.
Okay. So, I'm going Ben Davis.
Me too.
I like Ben Davis. I think Bengundu will have a big game, but it's not going to be enough. Ben Davis is going to do it. And, of course, their coach got named the Indiana All-Star coach this week, so that kind of tells you something. But
we're going to make a phone call to him here real shortly because with that Indiana All-Star coaching job, he's got a lot of pressure on him, man. You got to win, too.
You got to win them both.
So in 2010, when I got the job, I got like 10 calls from former coaches. They said, all that stuff looks nice in the newspaper, but you're going to have some sleepless nights because you got to win too. You don't want to be the coach that loses to Kentucky.
Yeah, I remember Jimmy Shannon said, "Oh, I got a split," and we said, "Oops,
oops, Jimmy,
Jimmy had an oops because his team split when he was All-Star.
And everybody in the state saw that too. So I mean, come on. What do you got,
What's
Scott?
up, Scott?
Ben Davis will probably win by 15 to 20. They were behind against Brownsburg at halftime, and they won by 30.
Yeah, they're Don Carlisle doing a great job with them, man.
They get on people so quick, and they score so fast. And if anybody wants to look it up, Sheridan Sharp is the kid's name. I can't remember where he's going to play college ball. He had one of the best poster dunks I have ever seen in the semi-state last week against.
Was that at Newcastle? I think I saw that.
It was amazing.
Scott,
they're so deep. They go 9 deep, man.
Yeah. Ben Davis is the epitome. Ben Davis is the epitome of a great team.
They're good.
We talk about the last undefeated team. I think was Greg Oden and Mike Conley, and you see what those guys were. They were two of the top high school players in the country. Both went to Ohio State. Both were one and done into the NBA. Ben Davis doesn't have that. Ben Davis is just the quintessential team, and they will kill you as a team. Like I said, they were behind against Brownsburg at halftime of the semi-state, and they won by 30.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Scott,
All right,
before Heck leaves, Scott, go over to Harlan 601 quote. Can you drag it over there so everybody can see it?
For
Heck,
what?
It says happy anniversary. Heck,
Oh, yeah.
33 years ago was the UNLV game.
Man, Q,
you got that, wouldn't he?
Hey, Q, right on, man, right on. The one thing I want to tell you is after that game, Q, and I know you've heard this before, after that game, and I don't know why, but we're in the same tunnel. It's like Michigan State in football at the Big House this year. We're in the same tunnel, and I don't know, Coach Hunsaker's doing something with the media or something. Len Drake isn't there. I'm the first guy walking off the court with our team, and we get into the tunnel, and there's Larry Johnson, there's Stacey Augmon, there's Moses Scurry. They're talking stuff. They're talking stuff to Paris McCurdy. They're talking stuff to Curtis. They're talking stuff to Sean Parrish. They're talking stuff to our players. Our guys and them guys are getting into it in the tunnel. And I'm the first guy in between them. I'm looking up at Grandma Mall, and I'm going, guys, stop this, man. You guys can't fight. Come on.
Yeah, the number one seed's playing number 11 seed Ball State, right?
Yeah, and we lose by 2
in the final 8. The winner goes to the final 4.
No, the winner plays Loyola of Marymount on the next night because Bo Kimball. That's when Hank Gathers passed away, and Bo Kimball was shooting free throws left-handed. If you remember that. So then Vegas went on to beat Loyola Marymount and got to the Final Four.
You guys were the Sweet 16 game.
Yes. Okay. I got a beautiful ring with 16 diamonds on it, man.
Cool.
But anyway, Q, thanks for that thought, man. You're the best. And you other 3 guys are the absolute best. It's so much fun talking sports with you guys. So us 3 will be back together on Monday night at Bar Louie's.
Right.
I know Scott always chimes in. Scott's our PR director. He's our marketing director. He puts us where we need to be. And I just got to tell you that we are so thankful for the things that you do, and you put us in all the venues and the social sites. And thanks for doing that, man. But I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday night, and have a good call in the state tournament this weekend, John and Pat.
All right, good enough. Hey, and while you're getting out of here, I was going to say this is also an anniversary weekend for me. 50 years ago, Heck, I was getting ready to go play in the state finals.
Dang.
50 years ago.
Dang. Well, you were 17. Yeah.
I was a junior in high school, and Anderson was getting ready to go down to IU to play South Bend Adams in the state.
No, and here's the funny thing about that. Then you go on to coach 100 years at Adams. You're the head coach for 100 years at Adams. And that is so funny.
There are some guys that do not talk to me back in Anderson simply because of that. I'm up here with the enemy.
Yeah, well, no, you're up here with the good guys, right, John?
Exactly.
I guess.
Exactly.
South Bend boys love you.
Yes, they do.
50 years ago. That's kind of humbling.
Yeah, you'd still be coaching at Adams if it wasn't for one guy, man. 99% of them love you, man. One guy didn't. And that just shows you. Goes to show you. All right, man.
All right.
Hey, thanks, guys.
We'll get out of here.
You guys are the best, man. Peace. Right on for you in church tonight, man. Be cool.
All right, see ya. And with that, we are out of here. Make sure and scan the QR code that we've got up here on the show logo. And then until next time, enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the games tomorrow. See you on Monday.